Good morning. On behalf of Mayor Walsh, I'd like to welcome you all here today. My name is John Barrows, and I'm Chief of Economic Development for the City of Boston. And glad to be here this morning because we are excited because the Red Sox is starting Game 1 tonight. And it's a great day in the City of Boston. You're going to hear from Mayor Walsh and Commissioner Gross, who will talk about the celebrations and safety in a few minutes. But first, let me talk about the importance of strong corporate partnerships in our city. And we have one represented here today, Modell's. I remember being there when the Boylston Street store opened in 2015. And besides Shaq and his enormous presence in the store, I was most struck by Modell's partnership with the Martin Richard Foundation.
Yes.
All the proceeds that day went to the Martin Richard Foundation. And Modell's and Mitch Modell continues to be a great partner for the city, and continues to care about what goes on in the city, not just the business. So we are thrilled today that Modell's will be joining Bank of America, Suffolk Construction, Partners, Liberty Mutual in helping us permanently house the chronically homeless in Boston. I'd like to invite Mitch up to announce the generous investment Modell's will be making in the Boston's Way Home Fund. Mitch.
Great. Thank you so much. It gives us great honor to associate ourselves with such a great city and a great organization, the Boston Way Home Fund. Starting today, we're going to be having these Beat LA t-shirts, and we want to beat homelessness at the same time, so it's a double win for everybody. And we're going to give $1 for every shirt sold to the Boston's Way Home Fund. We hope to raise a lot of money, get a lot of excitement, and hopefully cure the homelessness problem that we have in Boston. So, Mayor, I'd like to give you this shirt to put on.
This will be on in a couple hours.
Congratulations. Thanks so much. We're thrilled to be part of it.
Thank you. Let me just first of all, I'm going to thank Mitch. I'm going to thank Mitch and Modell's in a couple minutes, but thank you as well. I want to welcome and congratulate the president of the Boston Red Sox, Sam Kennedy, who's with us today. Thank you, Sam. We're excited about this week. Thank you for that. I was talking to Sam. Sam called me last week after the Red Sox went out to Houston, and he said, I look forward to coming back for Game 6. I said, or Game 1 and 2, so here we are today. So thank you. I also want to thank City Council Tim McCarthy is with us today. We have Commissioner Gross, who's going to speak in a few minutes, Commissioner Finn from the Boston Fire Department, Chief Hooley from EMS, Commissioner Green, Chief Green from the MBTA Police, thank you, John Barrows, Gina Fandaka from Transportation. I think I got everyone, City Council Tim McCarthy, who are all here today. We're grateful for everyone to be here today. First of all, I just want to start out by saying I have great respect for Los Angeles. Mayor Eric Garcetti is a friend of mine and a colleague. We work very closely with each other at the U.S. Conference of Mayors, but we don't lose to L.A. So to Mayor Garcetti, just want to let you know that. So we'll talk later on. We did have a conversation yesterday. He wanted to bet something, and I'm pretty superstitious. So I stopped betting after the first 3 bets when I became mayor. The Patriots, the Bruins, and BC lost, so I said I'm going to stop. And then the very next sports event up was the New England Patriots in Seattle, and we know what happened there. So I am all done betting, but certainly, and I also want to thank the Boston Celtics. Back in 1982, when the fans came up with the Beat LA chant, we thought that chant was just really for basketball, but certainly that chant has gone into the World Series, and we're going to hear that a lot tonight at Fenway Park, and so I'm excited about that. And it's always great to have baseball late in October. Mitch talked a minute ago about the Boston's Way Home Fund, and it's an important fund to a lot of us. Lindia Downey from Pine Street is here. We want to thank you for your investment in that fund. To date, we've used new tools to house homeless folks. We're using data. We held housing surges. Since 2015, we've housed collectively between all the different organizations, including the New England Home across the street, 850 veterans, homeless veterans in our city. We've ended chronic veterans homelessness in the city of Boston. We've housed over 1,000 roughly of other, between all of us working closely together, over 1,800 chronically homeless people that used to sleep on the streets in Boston, that tonight actually will be able to sit in their home and watch the Red Sox beat the Dodgers tonight. So it's exciting. And when Mitch called and asked, he wanted to do something for the city, a lot of great organizations, and I thought that there's probably, there's no one better than the other, but our momentum on homelessness is so important. And so I want to thank you from behalf of myself, all the nonprofits and all the city and everyone else. And I want to thank everybody. We are excited about the World Series, and we're taking safety around the park and around the city of Boston very seriously. We have a lot of experience in Boston in championships and certainly a lot of experience in celebrating safely. We have great fans. We have a great track record in our city after a win or a loss to respect each other and respect the city of Boston, but we're not leaving anything for granted. We have a home game tonight and tomorrow night at Fenway Park. If there's an opportunity to clinch the series in LA this weekend, we'll be ready for any celebrations that might move forward. Game 6 and 7 would be in Boston on October 30th on Halloween night, the 31st, and we're ready for a true team effort. We've been working together with the Red Sox, the Boston Police Department, Boston Fire Department, Boston EMS, Boston Transportation, Public Works, Special Events, Neighborhood Services, the MBTA Police, State Police. We've been working collectively to make sure that we have a good plan in place to make sure that everyone has a safe opportunity here in our city. I just want to address the fans directly, as I always say. Have fun, cheer and celebrate, be passionate Boston sports fans, but be responsible. Let's not put a cloud over a great memory here in our city, what's going to be happening over the next 7 to 10 days. We have college students in town who haven't experienced a playoff run like we're experiencing now with the Red Sox. They and everyone else know that just because there's a celebration doesn't mean that anything goes. We're not going to tolerate public drinking, disorderly conduct, climbing on buildings, cars, or infrastructure, making sure that be respectful when you're out there, regardless of what happens. Make sure that there's other people, safety we're concerned about as well. We want to make sure that we have no dangerous behavior out there. The Red Sox catchphrase this season is "do damage." That's for the players on the field, not the fans in the street. So I just want to be very clear on that. Our police officers in Boston and our first responders have become experts in engaging crowds, communicating with people, and making it clear what the goal is, and heading off very dangerous situations before they arise. That puts responsibility on the public to listen to officers, pay attention to your surroundings, and as the nights go on, the intensity goes on, we will make sure that we're going to continue to make sure people are safe, both inside the park and outside the park. And you're going to have to follow some of the designated walking areas that we're going to be setting up and driving areas we're going to be setting up. We're going to be asking people not to drive to certain parts of the city of Boston, and we're also asking people in the neighborhoods to celebrate responsibly as well, because we're not going to focus all our attention just around Fenway Park. We're going to be focusing our attention in the communities as well, in the different neighborhoods, to make sure that we move forward. The officers are there for your safety instead of home with their families. Most of the officers are going to be working over the next several nights are ordered to work, so they're going to be there to make sure that everyone has a safe opportunity. This is an exciting time in Boston. The Red Sox set a record for wins this season with 108 wins. They set an all-time record for their franchise. They're certainly on the verge. They're 4 games away from being world champions again for the 4th time in the 21st century. And it's important for us as we do that, as we celebrate, let's conduct ourselves like the Red Sox do on the field, first class. And it starts with our manager, Alex Cora, who's an incredible human being. I had the chance to go with him and Sam down to Caguas in Puerto Rico after the devastation of the hurricane. And I saw during his visit there and his interaction with the people of Puerto Rico what type of person he is. He's a respectful person. He's a great manager. So I'm asking the fans as we get through the next 4 games, just make sure that we celebrate with pride, and we celebrate with dignity, and we celebrate the way we do in Boston as champions. With that, I'd like to turn over the microphone now to the Commissioner of the Boston Police Department, Commissioner Willie Gross.
Chief Commissioner. Good morning, everyone.
Mr. Kennedy. Mr. President, first in the nation, go Red Sox. Listen, folks, I stand here before you today as a proud Red Sox fan, but also as a proud Bostonian. We've been here before. All we're asking folks is to act like we've been here before. And those that are college students or visiting, we just ask you to respect our city, respect our ways, to ensure that everybody's safe. The mayor alluded to safety everywhere, not just Fenway Park, but also in our neighborhoods. So our police stations in our great neighborhoods will be fully staffed. We don't want anyone to think that all of our resources are at Fenway Park, because quite frankly, that is not true. So we will have coverage in the neighborhoods as well as Fenway Park. For the Fenway Park area in celebration of the World Series and to ensure that everyone is safe and secure, we will have additional assets to provide security. And that will be from the first responder family as we work together, to the inclusion of the transit, the state police, and also our federal agencies as well. You will see officers in uniform, and we will have officers and agents in plain clothes as well. Again, to ensure safety at this large venue. As well, we want you to act responsibly by ensuring that if you drink, if you imbibe, let's do so responsibly. Absolutely no drinking and driving. And in celebration, we want you to act responsibly again in how you drink. We want the Red Sox Nation to be respectful of the Dodgers fans, and the Dodgers fans to be respectful of the Red Sox fan. It's a serious competition. We know who's first in the nation, so let's act like we're first in the nation, and that's the Red Sox. The mayor also stated that there will be parking restrictions and traffic restrictions. This is to ensure safety with the pedestrian flow and the traffic flow, and to ensure safety as the game's being played. So I have typed here, so there's no confusion, the areas of restrictions around Fenway Park. So, at 6 p.m., no trucks over 3/4 ton will be on Brookline Ave from Park Drive to Beacon Street, on Ipswich Street from Boylston Street to Hemingway Street, to 1200 Boylston Street to Van Ness Street, and from Ipswich to Kilmarnock to Jersey in Yawkey Way, and from Boylston Street to Brookline. We'll also be providing this on bpdnews.com, and we'll tweet it out too, so everybody can see it. So it'll be on all forms of social media. So that's at 6 p.m. At 7 p.m., 1 hour before the game, there will be no traffic on the aforementioned streets. Again, this is to ensure that Fenway Park is safe and the people coming in and out of Fenway Park are safe. One other thing we'd like to mention, there are criminals out there who will prey on you if you think you're getting the best deal in your life on World Series tickets. Just buy the tickets from reputable agents, because as we know, this is a time of computers. They're going to look real, they're going to feel real, but then you will be turned away at the gates because the tickets are counterfeit. So beware of your rights and make sure you buy the tickets from reputable agents. I'd like to thank you, sir, as well. Our city needs more great philanthropists like you, and there are plenty out there that are going to celebrate the Red Sox victory, hopefully, not to jinx it. So go Sox.
Any questions for anybody?
Will there be any additional security of the buildings surrounding Fenway?
Yes.
Yeah, they've been up there for, even the playoff games, we've had people up there. And last year, if you remember, during the playoff run, we had people on top of buildings just monitoring the crowds over last year too in the playoff. So we'll have them out there.
Is there anything, we've had this long run of, the Red Sox, the Patriots, all 4 teams have won the last ones. Is there anything in either the mayor or the district that you've learned from this experience in terms of safety that you made changes, anything you've learned just from this? long run of all these championships in the city?
I'll just start and I'll turn over to the commissioner. Just the preparation for this, understanding the other night I called the commissioner after leading into Game 5 and asked him about, are we prepared for this? And he had already met with the team and the deputy superintendents know what to do. Everyone knows what to do already, and it really is. It's amazing. Now we tweak it as time goes on. With the incidents that happened in Las Vegas last year and different incidents that happened, you make adjustments to the plan. But I'm just amazed by how prepared our first responders are, and all of them working closely together. We don't see this, but behind the scenes, there's conversations going on between the fire, EMS, the police department, all the different police departments we have that cover different jurisdictions. And just the coordination services is amazing. And you learn unfortunately, every time there's an event around the country, you learn more and more, and you pick up little pieces from that. But I think, in Boston here, we have it down pretty well as far as when the game is over. As every game goes on, it gets more intense, and you can see, the police personnel, more people down the park. You saw it in the difference between Game 1 and Game 2 last year and last week, and we're going to see it as the series continues to progress here.
Yes, sir. One of the main things we've learned is communication, coordination, and cooperation. Also, that encompasses everybody in the first responder family. Yesterday, we had a meeting with all of the colleges in Boston to ensure that the public has eyes and ears everywhere. Because when we're separated, only certain people benefit from that. And we want to make a strong showing and let everyone know, all of our colleges, our private security, we're on the same page. Today, we'll have a multi-jurisdictional, multi-agency meeting at BPD headquarters to go over the operational plan to, again, ensure that there's communication, coordination, and cooperation amongst our first responder families to ensure the safety of this large venue and of the city. And that includes gleaning information from the Boston Regional Intelligence Center, Fusion Center, to see if there's any credible threats to Fenway Park during the World Series. And we will keep you informed about anything that comes our way. Because as well, the biggest partners are the people in the community. If we ask you if you hear something, if you see something, say something. So you're a part of this first responder family as well.
Change that you've done since you started doing these things again since 2004, is there going to be any major change to how you approach security?
Well, again, to keep the public informed of exactly what we're doing. So the more informed you are, the better cooperation we have as you go in and out Fenway Park and as we celebrate in the communities as well. So every year, or every time we're at the World Series or the Super Bowl, we just learn and make it bigger and better. And again, it all comes down to strengthening the first three that I mentioned, coordination, cooperation, and communication. Just strengthen those three, you'll be fine every time. Absolutely, yes. Mr. President? Yes.
Or 5. We'll take 5.
Any other questions?
Just one question, really quick. The Fenway area hasn't hosted the World Series in 5 years.
We're in a drought.
Yet it's turned into an entertainment destination with so many new buildings, luxury coming in.
Yep.
Two-part question. Tell me about how that's exciting for the city. At the same time, how you guys are in the middle of a tricky balance right now, still trying to keep the area affordable and livable for the rest of the neighbors there.
Well, that's the first part. We're excited about it. Certainly making sure that we all of those venues will do well over the next couple of days. I think the same can be said for the Causeway Street area when the Bruins and Celtics are in and they run late into the playoffs. So a lot of those restaurants and bars down there do really well. They're excited. The bars and restaurants around here are excited when when we have things on the plaza, because people, there's spillover, and it helps all of the entertainment venues we have in our city. On the second part of that, clearly, we're working very hard on launching housing plans. So we just upped our number from 53,000 units of new housing to 69,000 units of new housing by the year 2030. That is income range of all different levels, really focusing on low, moderate income housing, and we're focusing it across the city. We're not focusing in one different area. We're looking at that housing and trying to diversify that housing across the city and make sure there's ample housing all over the place. I mean, we hear a lot of that in different neighborhoods right now, not just the Fenway area, but other places. But in the Fenway area, a lot of those buildings that were replaced weren't housing. We didn't replace higher-end housing, middle-class housing with luxury housing. That wasn't there. If you remember back, maybe some people don't, they live here, but there was a lot of warehouses in the Fenway area. It wasn't the same neighborhood it is today. There is a neighborhood there, though, it's the same, and we work very closely with those residents and those neighbors and those associations to make sure that people can still afford to live, not just in the Fenway, throughout the city of Boston.
Commissioner, you mentioned the Fusion Center. Any threats, credible threats to the games right now?
No, we have not received any credible threats. Thank you.
When you talk about the federal partnership, what will the rules for the bar be?
I think we'll be putting that out as we get closer. And it depends. Really, the rules as far as closing bars down and stuff don't really come till a clinching game. So we'll, as we get closer to that, we'll figure out how that moves.
Sam, could you say a few words to the fans about what we've got this big rivalry, very exciting, but also what do you want to say to the fans? I mean, keep in mind this incident we had at Gillette Stadium where they threw beer, the fans threw beer in someone's face, person was
Yeah, well, I think.
go to the length, please.
Sure.
Just what do you want to say to the fans?
Sure. Thank you. Well, first of all, thanks to everyone at the city, Mayor Walsh, Commissioner Gross, for doing what they always do in postseason play and throughout the year, which is give the Red Sox, Fenway Park, the resources that we need for our number one priority, which, believe it or not, is not winning. It's fan safety and fan security. That is the most important thing. We cannot have any incidents. So we appreciate that. And this is my 17th year with the organization, so we have learned over the years. And under Mayor Walsh and Commissioner Gross's leadership, we've closed streets down, we've added more resources to the park, private resources, public resources. And the most important thing, and we talk about this all the time with the men and women in our organization, is exactly what Commissioner said. If you see something, say something. Tell a security guard, a fan ambassador, police officer, we're here to help and make sure everyone has a safe and enjoyable time, because going to a World Series baseball game at Fenway Park is a memory that you'll cherish for a lifetime, so we're appreciative of it.
What about the event? What's your message to the fans about people are going to be very excited, and some people may have a little too much to drink, just about respect and about how to approach when they get so excited.
Yeah, we have a very strict code of conduct at Fenway Park, and just the first rule we learned in kindergarten, right? Treat everyone how you'd want to be treated yourself, I would say. Be respectful. We want you to be loud. We want you to be intense. We're known for that. So come to the game ready to go and be fired up, but at the same time, let's treat everybody with respect, dignity, and show the world that Boston is truly a city of champions.
Mayor, you mentioned you're hoping for a sweep. Is that your on-the-record prediction?
No, I'm not. Listen, one inning at a time. All right? And I just want to say, just make sure that we're going to go and beat LA this week. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.